Hey guys, welcome back with previewing the last game between the Springboks and the Lions. It's going to be an absolutely epic one with winner taking it all. It's been a win for the Lions in the first test, a win for the Springboks in the second one. The winner here, it's going to be a big one because the winner here can brag for the next 12 years till 2033 that they won the last test in South Africa. So it's an absolutely massive one. Luckily, it came down to this where the third test defines it all, because, who would have wanted a dead rubber on the third one? So this week around, there's a couple of changes for both teams. The Lions making more changes. That's strategically because, last week they were outplayed a bit. The Springboks, they make a couple of changes because of injuries to Pieter Stef de Tooy and de Klerk. That's probably the biggest injuries they could have had. They're very crucial guys in the team for the Springboks. But if you do look at the two front rows, the Lions' front row, that's probably the front row that if you asked me before this tour how the front row would have looked, that's the front row I would have picked. Wyn Jones, he's back from injury. He's just in time to be a crucial guy in this game against Malherbe at number 3 for the Springboks. He's such a good scrummager, both of these two guys. Ken Owens at number 2, very solid when it comes to line-out time, very solid at the back of a maul as well. He doesn't bring that versatility or that quickness of Cowan Dickey, but he does bring that experience and that he's just so good at the back of the maul, and he's a good scrummager as well, which you do need against Mbunambi. Furlong against Kitshoff yet again. Kitshoff, he outplayed him a little bit last week, not by a mile, but a little bit when it comes to scrum time. Then you get to the second row, which is a big battle again with Itoje and Alan Jones. Itoje, he won the first battle between Etzebeth and him. Then last week, Etzebeth played a bit better than Itoje. So who plays better this week around is my question. The Jager coming in at number 5. Remember, he had that long injury and then he played off of the bench in the last 2 games. Now he is back at number 5, and both times when he came off of the bench, he looked impressive at line-out time, especially last week. He does strengthen the line-out for the Springboks, and that's one of the reasons he is shifted in at number 5, and Mostert shifts out to number 7 for them. I'll get to that now. Alan Wyn Jones at number 5. You saw last week a couple of times with Alan Wyn Jones and Etzebeth in a couple of niggles as well, bringing in a couple of, not fisticuffs, but almost fisticuffs last week. So hopefully this week again, there's a little bit of intensity and more of that as well. I enjoy it. I don't know. Can't think that many rugby fans don't enjoy that. Then we get to the loose forwards. I think both teams' loose forwards has had a dominating game so far. The dominating game for Laws, Conan and Curry in the first game. Then last week, this loose forward trio did really well for the Springboks as well. Mostert, he's in at number 7. Pieter Stef de Tooy, he's injured. Unfortunately, the guy is injured. Mostert, I think it's a good option to have him at 7, to have another line-out option, because he's the only other real line-out option you can have. He's played a lot of games at number 7 as well, so he does feel comfortable over there. Kulisi, I need to mention his name. Last week was probably his best game he's ever played in a Springbok jersey, in my opinion. He just had such a good game on defense. He had a lot of carries as well, made a lot of meters as well. Visa, there's probably still a little bit of room there to show what he did in the Premiership as well. He's still finding his feet on international level. Laws in that first week, you can remember he had a couple of strong carries. Curry, he was quiet last week. I don't know if it was down to that video of Rassie Erasmus that he is in trouble for at the moment, but because Curry was in that first week almost in every single piece of that video, but Curry was a little bit more quiet the last week. Conan, always a strong carrier. Watch out when he does start carrying it forward. And for the Springboks, unfortunately, Dwayne Vermeulen is not back in time for them. At number 9, both teams make changes, so who's going to get the upper hand here? Price, he played brilliantly in that first test for the Lions, and I think that he's probably going to continue that alongside Bigger. They played really well in that first test. Reinach, he comes in at number 9, so that's probably a like-for-like replacement for Faf. I do think Faf's box kicking game is a little bit better though, but Reinach and Pollard, remember, both of them, they come from Montpellier. Both of them play there in France, so they have a bit of a partnership, though they haven't played much together with Pollard's injury. They do have a good understanding of each other. Reinach also being blistering fast. If he does get around the ruck, you will not catch him. And I think a couple of guys on the opposition side do know about that. Then we get into the centers. I think both weeks now, De Allende and has been the better center pairing both weeks so far. Even in that week where they lost, De Allende and their defensive efforts has just been so brilliant. Just organizing that team so well when it comes to the defense. De Allende, he's kind of the guy that just goes all over the park, runs all around the park, getting the defensive organization ready, getting tackles in, and also turning over the ball. This week, though, it is the Allende versus Arki, so they've played against each other quite a few times now in Ireland as well, with both of them representing different provinces there. Henshaw also at number 13, so it is an Irish combination there, and both of them also playing for Connacht. So it is a pretty experienced combination for those two guys getting together there as well, and they will need it to have a little bit of a running game as well. Speaking about a running game, Bigger only passed 3 times last week. So will we see a bit more passing this week around? Because last week they did struggle and the ball didn't go much further than the number 13 last week either. With all the South African wings cutting out opportunities for the Lions out wide. Then the back three for the Lions have a couple of changes there as well. Williams come in at number 15. I think a lot of people are happy about that one because Hogg last week, let's face it, did not have a brilliant game. I actually like Hogg, but he didn't have a brilliant game. They really put him under pressure there, just like the Lions put the Springboks under pressure in the first game. So both teams have a way of putting the other team under pressure when they do get some kicking dominance. Adams, he comes in at number 14, the tour's leading try scorer, and the Lions do need a couple of tries, not scoring many so far in this test series. So he's a welcome return for them. I think with him, they do have a little bit more danger as well. He is just such a prolific try scorer. Then Van der Merwe, a lot of people not being too happy that he is still there. But I think the reason he is still there is he's keeping Colby quite quiet so far. Maybe another winger would not have gotten that right so far. But Colby has been dead quiet so far this tour so far. So I think Van der Merwe has been doing a brilliant job of keeping Colby quiet. And that in its own is a big enough job. Mapimpi at 11, last week he showed again what he can do on attack. Leroux, just such a master when it comes to playing the 15 role. He's just always in position. Then we do get to the two benches. There's changes there as well. The Boks, they revert back to a 5-3 split. I'll get to that again. The bench for the Lions is pretty English, with Cowan Dickey at number 16, Vunipola at number 17, and then Sinclair, he is cleared to play this week after that biting allegations. So they are up against the front row that really impressed last week with Marks, Niakane and Koch. Niakane, I did say I wonder how he's going to play at loosehead when coming on last week. We haven't seen much of him there, and he really surprised, really played very well. So he would want to get under Sinclair's skin yet again this week. Koch, he's going to have a direct opponent with his Saracens teammate with Vunipola. Then for the 19 and 20 replacements, Beard and Simmons. Simmons coming in, just such a big carrier for them, and they're going to want to use him quite a few times. Beard, we'll also see him the first time on this tour as well. Van Staden and Smith, both of them came on last week to bring on some breakdown masters, some guys that can steal the ball, and both of them really did their job, along with Marks, along with Niakane, and along with the other guys that already started the game, and that really drowned out the game for the Lions in the second half. Those guys are the game winners at the end of the game. Herschel Yankees, he's at number 21, like I said, a 5-3 split. Murray at number 21 for the Lions as well, an experienced guy to bring on at the end of the game to see out the game as well. He is in a partnership with Russell at number 22 and Daly at number 23, retaining his position after not being too impressive this last couple of weeks. For the Springboks, they do shock a little bit, or do shake things up a little bit with bringing in Mornay Steyn at number 22. I think that is quite a big shocker there. For Lions fans, you'll probably remember that he won the tour for the Springboks in the 2009 tour with that kick from 50 meters away. So he is there, he's done it before, and I think he is still in good form. He's led the Bulls pretty well at number 10 as well. Damien Willem, so that means instead of covering 10 to 15, because last week he played wing as well, he's just going to be covering 12 to 15 as well. So he plays a pretty important role for them there as well, and he's been so good when it comes to his defense, so good when it comes to his physicality as well, not really an attack, and that is probably where he is more known for. Talking about attack, a guy like Finn Russell, he is there to probably shake things up in the second half. There's a couple of guys on that bench for the Lions. It looks like they might be trying to play a second half running game if needs be in that last 20 minutes to see if they can also shake the Springboks up in that format as well. So let's see how this game goes. It is going to be played in Cape Town Stadium again, like we know. It is a French referee in this one. Let's see how Reynald goes. I haven't seen many games with him being the referee. I don't think he refs a lot of Southern Hemisphere games. So we'll see how he goes in this one. Hopefully the pitch holds up for a third game, because it is a pretty crappy pitch, if I have to be honest. So for me, I have to go Springboks on this one to win it. They are in a better form as well. But if you've seen anything in this tour, it is pretty unpredictable. I think the Springboks to win this one by 5 points. Let me know your prediction down in the comments below. Also, check out these videos next to me if you want to see more Alliance content or more content for the internationals through the year. Then hit the subscribe button. Then I'll see you for the next one. Cheers.